like Phil's garage. It looks like Phil's garage, but it's not. This is my science lab. You see I have my lab coat. And hang on. We're going to do experiments. Also, so for experiments, we have our safety goggles. So this is Phil's science lab. Now the story here is Cannondale, come out with this new bike. They want their ambassadors to ride it, and they're like, Phil, we're gonna send you this bike. And I was like, no, that looks heavy. I want my climbing bike. Don't do this to me. Don't give me a heavier bike. I like to go fast, and that bike is not for me. And they said, shut up, and take your fancy bike that we don't make you pay for, and consider yourself lucky. And I was like, fine. I am the ultimate weight weenie, and they make me ride this Aero whatever thing, and put away my my dorky bike. And so I wanted to show them that this is not the right move. Cannondale's theory, their science, their little scientists put on their lab glasses and their coats, and they said that this bike is faster for anything that's over or it's under 6%, or 6% or less is sort of the steepness. Because 6% is still like, if you're moving, that's still big ring. And what they're saying is at that speed, aerodynamics is more important than weight. So I set up a series of experiments with the scientific method, which you might remember from 5th grade. I don't, something like that, and to figure out which is better, what's faster. The first thing about the Super 6, I was pleasantly surprised with a lot of things. I have to give them credit. My first thought when I got an Aero bike, it kind of looks like a time trial bike. My first thought when they say time trial bike, that's going to be. It's going to be hard to put together. It's going to the cables and stuff, and the fit's going to be difficult to get dialed. It wasn't. There was the right amount of adjustability and everything. I even like the ISM saddle I use it's pretty different to do the setup, and it totally fit. My fit's exactly like I wanted to. I made VeloFix build it. I'll be honest, but they said it wasn't a problem. They were impressed too. The whole bike is just clever. It's clever from the way they do the quick release. The way they do the handlebar mount, all of it. It looks like a time trial bike. Everything is thought out and smooth and slippery, and it looks cool and it looks fast. So that's that. My first experiment, I did a loop in Griffith Park. So Griffith Park is where the Hollywood sign is. So I do a lot of my training. I did a very basic loop. And I timed certain segments that were based on traffic and lights that were going to be completely clear. So we'll do this ride, and then we're going to come back and analyze it. All right, let's go. So for the first experiment here, I'm here at Forest Lawn Drive in Burbank. So Forest Lawn goes to Griffith Park, and there's a loop around Griffith Park. It's all right turns, it's all closed to traffic, there's no stopping. We're going to investigate the different segments on the way. I'm going to do it the same power, same heart rate on two different bikes. So this is it, and we're going to see who's faster, and we're going to see where they're faster. All right, I'm stopped at the white line right here, part 1. Here we go. So starts once you get in the park. You have the flatbed on Forest Lawn. Once you get in the park, you go up Trash Truck Hill, which is this thing. This is steep. This is not what I would think to be an aerodynamic scenario. Then you go down the hill. Coming up here, it's twisty. I'm gonna put the camera away. Go down the hill here, and then we go around the flat. But this downhill is tight, so we'll test the handling. And I better put the camera away. Now we're gonna do the same loop again on the climbing bike. We got the same bottles, the same saddlebag, same cookie soup. It's a controlled experiment. So we did our ride on both of the bikes. We did the exact same loop, same power, same heart rate, all that stuff, same conditions. It was the same day, half an hour apart. And now we're gonna go to see the truth. And the ultimate test of truth, as you guys know, is Strava. So we're going to pull up both rides here. There were 3 segments that I think were sort of the right ones to analyze here. The first one is a flat section on Forest Lawn Drive. So after the traffic lights, it's just dead flat. It was a tailwind. So let's see how that went. Oh, interesting. Okay, the Aero bike, the System 6, it was 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And the climbing bike was 3 minutes and 18 seconds. So that's weird. But for that segment, the climbing bike was faster. Oops. Okay, well, it is what it is. The next segment that we did would be, this is a hill. This is called Trash Truck Hill. This is a very coveted segment in the Hollywood, Griffith Park, Burbank region, owned by yours truly. That one, I did on the climbing bike, I did 4:04. And on the System 6, I did 4:10. Okay, so that's to be expected. That's a very steep climb. It's like 8 or 9%. So the climbing bike should be faster there. I'm not sure what happened on the first segment, but this is you have your test, your question. That's what we did here, is which bike is faster. This is the scientific method. So it's the question, then you have the hypothesis, which is going to be, my hypothesis is that on the flat sections, the System 6 is going to be faster, and on the uphill sections, where I do my thing, the Super 6 is going to be faster. So far I'm 50-50 on that. The third segment that we did this is up and down. So on the climbing bike, this is just a section of Griffith Park that goes kind of up and around, and then there's some flat. This is sort of a mixed terrain scenario. It was 13 minutes and 17 seconds on the climbing bike, and then on the System 6, it was 12 minutes, 55 seconds. So for a long effort, where I would say that's larger sample size, as we discuss in our science, a good 20 seconds faster over a course at the same effort. So that's interesting. And then for the last segment, we have another sort of flat. This is actually an entirely flat stretch, where on the System 6, I did 7:51. And on the climbing bike, I did 8:05. So out of the three segments that were mixed terrain, one was inexplicably faster. On the climbing bike, that was the tailwind one. And the other ones were a good bit noticeably faster on the System 6. So I'm not really a scientist. I don't exactly know what that tells you. The results weren't what I expected, which I guess would happen sometimes to the best of us. And it's been a long time since I was in 5th grade, so I don't know what comes after. But the real test, I tried here. It's hard to really know what that is. The real test is I did a super long ride when I first got it. It was the Tour de Big Bear, and it was my second ride on the bike. So last year I did the Tour de Big Bear, and I wanted to just smash the course record, and I did. I went for it. I went super hard. It was the same bike. I went nuts on that thing. It's 125 miles, 12,000 feet of climbing. I know all the climbs there. I know Big Bear is my territory. I have all the KOMs in Big Bear, and super cool course, definitely my thing. So last year I put 20 minutes on the previous course record, just pulling myself. Like the race was kind of the same. There was one buddy was with me, Chad Hall. He took some pulls. He took some pulls last year. So this year, Cannondale was like, okay, let's see what you do on the Aero bike. So I said, no, don't make me ride that heavy bike for 12,000 feet of climbing. It's just not going to work. But I did it, and I was surprised. It came, first of all, once I put it together, you lift it, it's not that heavy. It's not heavy. It's heavier than that. Obviously, everything's heavier than that. But it's certainly not a heavy bike. And after the Tour de Big Bear, I don't do the scale thing. All right, I don't mess with that stuff, because then it's a slippery slope with a scale and a former pro cyclist. But it's not heavy. Everybody who lifted it after, they were lining up at my cookie tent to lift it. They're like, oh yeah, it's light. So that's the verdict. Is it's not that heavy. And it's also what happens is it doesn't matter, because I put 9 minutes on my previous record. It was honestly that was the other thing, is like, I know they wanted me to go fast, and we get on course, and I'm like, it's super windy today. Last year it was really calm. This year it was windy and it was hot, and I was like, now, and I'm supposed to go fast for 5.5 hours. I was so grumpy. Tactically, it was the same. It ended up me and Chad Hall again, pretty much the whole day, taking pulls. The last climb last year, I kind of dropped Chad the same place both years. So yeah, that's it. 9 minutes faster over 125 something miles. That's not a controlled experiment, it's a different day, but it's more so because I know the conditions were worse in Big Bear. So that's it. That's the review. I have to do more thought. Now I have to go, when I go do a KOM, I have to bring both bikes, or I have to think about how steep it is. It's all very frustrating for the bike dork in me, but it is what it is. This is another weapon in my arsenal, and I think for sure for the long rides and the undulating terrain, and even for not super steep climbs, that's going to be the go-to. All right, that's it. That's it from Phil's Science Lab. Till next time.